This week on Not Another Shooting Show.
That was mind vomit.
Heavy is correct.
Ammunition is heavy.
And then it moved your shit for you.
Yeah, I don't really feel bad about talking shit about your reloads, but
Correct.
he's Jeff King, and he finally learned how to put his face in front of a microphone. And I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show. Say something so they can hear you.
It only took 94 episodes.
Only took 94 episodes for Jeff to get headphones that allow him to hear himself in a way where we can all hear him the whole time. Yay! And
I'm still going to fuck it up.
And I'm wearing different headphones so that your audio doesn't bleed over and give an echo. Anyway, moving on with things that are... we normally start off the show. We go to Eau Claire, Wisconsin, where the case against a man police say accidentally shot himself in downtown Eau Claire was settled this past Wednesday. Dontre Bundy was charged with recklessly endangering safety, negligent handling of a weapon, carrying a concealed weapon, possession of THC, and being an out-of-state felon in possession of a firearm after an incident last March. Yeah. It happened last March. He was just sentenced for it. Witnesses told officers that Bundy was outside a bar showing people his gun when he accidentally shot himself in the arm. No one else was hurt.
See, if he would have been sitting in his car, then it would have been perfectly fine. Nothing bad would have happened. And it could have been posted to Reddit.
Yeah. But nope, shot himself in the arm. Judge sentenced him to 3 years probation. He was also ordered to not possess any guns, drink alcohol, or enter any bars. Rough.
That's going to be tough in Wisconsin. But
what else is there to do in winter?
Right? And I mean, I'm still stuck on the out-of-state felon in possession of firearm. Like, so
Yeah.
in-state felon, you're good? Like, it's a very weird way to phrase that.
Maybe it's sort of like a non-resident hunting license costs more. Like it's a worse charge if you're a non-resident. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea whatsoever. Anyway, I'm in a new place in my house. I moved my computer desk out of the room. My gun room is going to be one of my boys' bedrooms, and I am just realizing that one of the cold air intakes is right in the direction of my microphone. So you might hear a little bit of background noise this week. I apologize. I have soundproofing to put over it, but right now all I have in front of it is 6,600 blue bullets that are waiting to be loaded during my off season here. So that's what I spent all day doing. Jeff, you guys canceled your match that was supposed to happen last weekend, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That was smart. But you had a thing in here. I was about to start with a match and realized, that was last week, and that wasn't. I'm all over the road. Everyone should fight, but injuries suck. What are you talking about, Jeff? Fighting?
Yeah.
Like gunfights or like fights?
Fights. So like, I went a little hard this week. I trained with my buddy Lane, and I trained at my own gym, and I, for some reason, was like, one of my better fighters at my gym has a fight coming up. I should go in and help him. And that was a terrible decision. And so I got the living shit beat out of me this week. Like my arms hurt to squeeze them. They don't help with the whole, the dry fire part of it, but I believe everyone should, but you got to also worry about injuries. So like I have dents on my shins right now, or like little bruises.
Yeah.
But my Lane he like did something to his bicep during training, and it wasn't even like anything cool. Like he threw a punch and was like, ow. And then like that was it. And then he was like, okay, well, I'm done for the day. Like I gotta go to the doctor. And I'm like, oh shit. So that
sucks.
Yeah. So hopefully that is a minor injury or it's a quick surgery and heal up. I had a guy on that same day in one of my classes. Someone was demonstrating what we call a sweep, where you like kick someone's legs out and they fall on the floor. Well, he stuck his hand out.
Sweep the leg.
Yes, he swept the leg and broke his wrist.
The sweeper broke his wrist, or the guy who got swept broke his wrist?
The guy who got swept stuck his hand out and broke his wrist.
Do you have a problem with that?
Yes.
No, I'm talking about Karate Kid.
Oh yeah,
sweep the leg. Do you have a problem with that?
And then he threw an illegal kick to the head.
Yeah. Yeah. Then it was just I'm gonna kick you in the shin, and then when you're starting to fall down, I'm gonna smack you right in the nose with my other leg.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was an unfortunate like reminder that, you know, life can be difficult sometimes, but I do believe I think everyone should fight. I find it fun. We tried to convince Steven to, and he was like, absolutely not. And we're like, but it'll be fun. And then Lane tore his bicep. So
Yeah,
like,
it'll be fun. Tearing biceps. Yay.
exactly.
Well, this background noise is starting to drive me insane. Do you hear it?
I
The
hear it a
hum?
little bit. Yeah.
I turned up my gate a little bit there. That should help. Okay. I have no desire to fight. I'm what they call too old for that shit.
Nah.
I think I am because I just like the idea of starting jujitsu appeals to me. And then I start thinking about the part where some guy who knows what he's doing is taking it easy on me and still turns me into a pretzel. And
Well, yeah.
and then that's the part that is
Your ego
not
struggles with.
appealing to me. Yeah.
Well, and jujitsu is dangerous. This is the key is people get really focused on like the CTE of boxing and kickboxing when if you do it right, you actually don't get hit in the face and you don't have to get hit in the face. Whereas jiu-jitsu, it's a sport around joint manipulation and the entire sport is to manipulate joints. And if someone does something wrong, you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
And like you said, you get turned into positions that you weren't prepared for. I've had almost zero injuries from kickboxing other than bruises. But jujitsu,
Torn quads.
That was stepping off a curb, which
Oh,
is
that's right.
way more embarrassing. I wish it was a cool story. Like, yeah, he like kicked my leg and he kicked it so hard that the muscle separated. No, I stepped off a curb.
No,
and it
dude.
hurt.
Like, speaking of dumb injuries, so I've talked about how I broke my elbow as a kid. I don't think I've ever told the story of how it happened, have I?
Yeah. You were playing football with your buddies, right?
No, dodgeball.
Oh, dodgeball. That's what it was.
Okay, so I did tell the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just fell on the playground. Everybody's like, because back in the early 90s, it happened in 1991, and it was all the rage to blame skateboarding for every broken arm or leg that any kid ever had. And so I'm walking around with my splint that summer. I never had a cast. I was in a splint the whole time because I had to move my elbow to make sure I'd get range of motion back. And every time I'd run into somebody, go, skateboarding? Oh, we're on one of them stupid skateboards? No, I was playing dodgeball at school. Fuck you. Anyway, so there was a thing I posted on patreon.com/notanothershootingshow, just $3.57 a month. We had, after the Friday episode, I must have done a good job shaming people into joining because we had a little spike in people signing up for the Patreon, and some of them were people who I know listen on the regular, like Heidi. I think I finally shamed Heidi into subscribing, who
Nice.
Yeah. So thank you, Heidi, and to the other two people whose names I don't have right in front of me. I just remember Heidi was one of them. But thank you so much for subscribing. And patreon.com/notanothershootingshow. You get a second episode every single week. Okay. The gun you want that does not exist. This was a thing I posted on Reddit a couple days ago because the thing that sort of gave me the idea was how Staccato is coming out with, the new revolution in Staccato, blah, 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 whatever. It's going to be another fucking 2011 that's, like 1% different than the rest of them. I don't know. The rumor had it they're going to be like Glock mag fed. I don't know what they are. Anyway, that'll happen during SHOT Show, I'm sure. But, they came out with Ruger came out with their little hybrid Gen 3 Glock that's sort of like a SIG. I was just like, hey, what would you really want? What gun would you want that doesn't exist to come out? Because, my idea, because I'm an idiot and I hate dealing with, this way. Another thing that made me think of this was I was dry firing with my Shadow 2 this week, and the trigger would not reset on its own. It wouldn't go forward. I'm going, pull the double action, like simulating single action, and when I let go, it wouldn't go forward. So
Okay.
I asked Vince, like, what the hell? It won't go forward. I sent him a video of it doing it, and we went back and forth a little bit. And actually, before he even diagnosed it, I figured it out. That spring that holds up the trigger bar was getting wedged on the between the frame and the trigger bar.
Oh, that's weird.
Why? I don't know. But anyway, uh, like the Shadow 2 is not impressing me, Jeff. It's just not.
If it needs a new home, I can find it a new home. But
It might find a new home. Anyway, back to the original topic.
right.
If I could have a gun that does not currently exist, here's what I want. A pistol that has a Glock trigger system because it's simple. It's so simple. It's made for an idiot like me. Inside the frame of a CZ Tac Sport Orange. I like this TSO better than the TS2. I'll take a TS2, but I really like the TSO. They fit me absolutely perfectly, and their balance just awesome. But then it would also have a narrower slide like a Shadow 2 or a Glock. Does this make sense? Because this is another thing I don't like about the Shadow 2. The grip's really small. Like, compared to the Tac Sport, it's a much smaller frame.
Yeah.
And I don't have, like, you have way bigger hands than me. Now, you got, like, palm swells or whatever the hell grips you have, but
Yep.
I'm starting to understand why people like the palm swells on there, because even if you don't have enormous hands, it's kind of a skinny gun.
Yep.
You know, it's like 1911 skinny almost. But anyway, that's the gun I would want. We got a bunch of responses to this. What gun would you want that does not currently exist, Jeff?
That doesn't exist. I want a belt-fed 9mm machine gun.
Belt-fed 9
Yes.
millimeter machine gun.
Yes.
Are you sure that doesn't exist?
I'm 100%
Oh wait,
sure.
I'm thinking of the Gatling gun that
Correct.
my son and I saw up in the cities last summer.
Yeah, the Glock mag fed ones.
Yeah, it was fed by a Glock mag. Yeah.
Yep. No, I want the full belt fed. Like, basically, I want to saw M249 shrunk. Well, for me, I want the same size gun. I don't want it to shrink in any way, shape, or form. I just want it to be shooting 9mm. I don't have it's something about my autism has just always liked 9mm for no good reason. It just always goes back to that. And so I'm like, fuck it. I want to all the DACA, but in 9mm.
The challenge to that would definitely be making the link from round to round fit on the short little 19mm case.
Correct.
That's the hard part.
Correct. If you want a more realistic, I would have to go with the a Shadow 2 that is striker fired.
Okay, so kind of like you're kind of in my thought process of steel gun, striker fired.
There's something about
You'd want an M&P striker fire system, though. I'm guessing.
I don't care about the system as long as it works. I don't give a fuck. I'm not technical or anal enough to pay attention to what system they're using. All I know is trigger go bang, and that makes me happy. I do like the M&P that it like doesn't give you dead triggers, so it makes it better for dry fire.
Yeah,
but give me a flat face trigger, striker fired Shadow 2, all steel Shadow 2, or just give me an M&P steel frame, and I could be somewhat happy there.
I do find it interesting. You like the flat face trigger. Lots of people like the flat face trigger on M&Ps. This was a while ago. It just popped in my head while you were talking about flat face trigger and M&P. Amy 556 hates the flat face triggers on M&Ps. She's an M&P fan, but she likes the curly trigger. And I just found that interesting. Like, I don't remember what she was saying. I just remember she did not like it, and most people really like it. I just found that interesting. I am sort of apathetic. I don't really notice a big difference between the two. Like, I have two shields. One is the plus with the new trigger, and one is a Gen 1 shield with the old curly trigger. I don't know. They're kind of, and I have an M&P 40 Gen 1. That's the curly trigger. But that thing's so worn out that it breaks like a Gen 2 trigger. I don't know. I just thought of that. That was mind vomit. We got a bunch of response to this on Reddit, though. Tactical Love Handles, great handle, said it would be cool to a manufacturer make grip modules that are tungsten infused, but more so in areas that change the balance point. Ooh, that's a good idea. I like that. Like someone buying a 320 lower that could choose to have more tungsten infused in certain spots to make it heavier in the grip, heaviest near the trigger guard, or slightly nose heavy. Yes.
We're going full gamer on that. Like little tungsten weights that you can like insert into slots in the pistol so you can move the weight around.
I like that idea too. I don't think that's what he was saying. It was just like the A model is like ass heavy, you know.
Oh, gotcha.
You know, like it's more the weight is towards the heel of the gun. To that point, Destroy All Trumps had a short dust cover Shadow 2. I love that idea because the Shadow 2 is so fucking muzzle heavy. Like they've got the full rail dust cover on it. It's so muzzle heavy. I don't like how it balances. It like the Tac Sport Orange is just it's more overall balanced. You know, the reason that people put a lot of weight in the ass end of a Shadow 2 for that reason because it's so end heavy. It feels weird in your hand. I think that's a great idea.
I think y'all are just weak.
No, like the old CZ75 with the short dust cover.
I'm literally holding a Shadow 2 right now, and it feels super comfy. Like I don't know, like Shadow 2s feel really nice in my hand, and I have no problem. Like I don't notice the weight out. Like that we're talking about it, I'm slightly noticing a little bit of weight out front, but like
yeah,
I don't. I don't
You're
know.
a freaking moose running around, though. You don't care. It's just like, it goes boom, I shoot.
Truth.
Yeah.
Very, very, very true.
But, like, if you just Google CZ75, you know, with the old short dust cover, like that in a Shadow 2, if you cut it off from the notch in the rail where it's like Picatinny there for like a light, you cut it from there off to the end, I think that'd be real cool. That would be an interesting gun.
I'm honestly surprised they haven't done it because it seems like such a cheap, like, oh, here's another option.
Yeah, they just literally hack off the end, and
they love to supply extra options.
Mm-hmm. They do indeed. Let's see. There were, shit, I clicked on the wrong tab. Integrated flared magwells. Companies like Smith & Wesson and Glock get it right, in my opinion. Non-flared magwells are the 1911 GI sights of our era. I agree with you, Austin. Owen, a CZ 2011, not a Dan Wesson, would get me into 2011s for sure. And I asked if Dan Wesson just built a 2011 and stamped CZ on it, would he be happy? But he never responded, so I don't know.
He did. He just didn't respond in the right
he
thread.
did. Oh, he didn't. Okay.
He said yes. Kydex Cowboy has a response, a 2011 that works out of the box.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Double Mike Academy. I want a beautiful 2011 with Canic Rival S ergos, because aesthetically I love 2011s, but my hands don't agree with anything that's not a Canic.
See, that's
your hands would like a Walther then, because it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, I just 2011s. My brain keeps saying you want to buy a 2011, and then like, well, the cheap part of me is like, you absolutely don't want to buy a 2011.
Yeah, no.
And then like gripping them, my Shadow 2 grip is like, oh, let's retard the slide. That will do it. That will do us well.
I won't say the handle because it's just random characters. Steel frame Glock 17, 47, or 34.
Yes. More steel guns because heavy is correct.
I would like to try one. I mean, there's been Matrix Arms makes a steel Glock frame. There's been a couple of these out there, or a couple of people that have made them. Good God. They are really proud of it too. It'll only cost you $2,100 to $2,700. Jesus. That's disgusting. No, thank you. It's interesting how they made grips for it too, and they like screw in the front, like in the front strap is where they come together
Ew.
and screw in. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It looks interesting, but
Not $2,400
not
interesting.
24. No, it's not 2011 money interesting. You know, if it was like $1,500, I just want the frame. I don't want your goofy looking slide.
Right. Well, and that's the thing.
It's kind of
like,
hideous looking, honestly.
right. Whenever these companies come out with steel frame guns, it's like we have the Shadow 2 and the Rival S for you can get them for a 900, 800 to 1,000, give or take. If you're not beating that price point, you're not winning. Like
No.
the Shadow 2 is the best gun, and the Kinetic Rival isn't that far behind it. So like, be better.
Yeah, the steel rival, whatever. I know there's people who've had problems with it. Whatever those problems are, if they get those figured out, I think there was some like barrel issues.
Yeah, I remember
Wasn't
there
that a
being
thing?
yeah, something about them like shearing or something.
Like part
yeah.
of the lug would come off or whatever. Like it would
Yeah.
crack.
And then they
I
had
don't remember.
they had an over insertion issue as well that they
Oh yeah.
that was causing a lot of issues. But I've seen some posts that are like, oh, these are great, love them, da da da, and other people are like, sent it back to the factory 3 times, sold it the 4th time.
Yeah. I think it's sort of that. I mean, the one Canic I own, I have not shot it enough to really give a great opinion of it. I've handled a Rival S, and I do like it's a different shape than the regular Rival, and I like it a lot. If I wasn't already in love with just shooting Glocks or my Tac Sport Orange, I would get one of those. But
Right. Well, and I mean, Nils went back to the polymers, so that tells you something.
yeah, maybe it does. Okay, I think I got all of those. Yeah, that was all of them. Okay, moving on with the show. Ammunition is heavy.
Yeah. So we always kind of forget because you bring a couple hundred rounds to the range and whatever, it's fine. Because we shoot a little bit, Lane Drink did a group buy for us and we ended up buying a pallet of 9mm from Supervel. And I mean, I hope it works. Supervel as a company, I don't really like their owner, but it's been a decent product for me. Some days I want to throw it over the berm. Other days I'm like, this is fine. But we found out that a full pallet weighs 1,700 pounds for
just shy of a ton
for 50,000 rounds of 9mm. And it was hilarious watching Lane, because Lane loaded all of this up into his Mercury Mariner, and it looked like a lowrider coming around the corner.
Oh God!
And I was like,
you couldn't even put that pallet in your truck. I mean, your truck is a half ton. Like that's not.
Yeah, I would have.
You would have been way overweight on that.
Yep. And what's remarkable is Steven took half of the load because a couple of his buddies bought some with it, and I was like, we were like spreading it out over his car so that the weight was at least like not all in the back.
Oh,
Lane just kind of tossed it in the back.
What does he drive? What does Steven drive?
Oh, I can't even remember.
He seems
now.
like a Subaru Outback guy kind of to me.
It's like that, but it's like a little bit shorter.
Okay.
Damn it, now I can't remember. But yeah, so
I'm not even shit talking the Outback. I rode in one with Robert from here to Area 3, and I kind of liked it. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
yep.
I thought it was dumb until I rode in one. I'm like, oh, I kind of like this.
There was a great meme that popped up that was like, oh yeah, there's snow in the south.
I saw that.
No, only me and a bunch of lesbians are able to drive in our Subaru Outbacks.
That was a great meme.
but yeah, so that was where we challenged Steven to come fight us, and then Lane proceeded to tear his biceps. So maybe the 1,700 pounds of ammunition that he moved into his car may have contributed to it. But
my buddy Nick tore his bicep too bowling.
Yep,
like tore it right off. And I guess that you have to do that surgery pretty quick if it needs surgery because it's time sensitive. Like the the tendon will shrivel up and they can't reattach it. Then you got bigger problems later. So
So I don't know if it was a full tear because like I've at least seen the horrible videos of bicep tears where like you watch the bicep shrink 3 inches like in the arm and it's like super visible. That's not what happened to him. Like we could kind of see it was a little off, but it didn't. There wasn't that distinct. And he's actually had it happen to the other arm, and so he was like, "Okay, I'm done. I'm going to go to the VA and get this checked out right now." And so, but he's back to like training, so maybe it was just a strain, or sometimes you get those weird pops, and you're like, "Am I dead? I don't know." So
I don't get. I know the pops you're talking about. I've only had like one of those ever. Otherwise, I've just had like strains and sprains and nothing super serious like that. But
yeah, but
no. And when my buddy Nick was telling me about his bicep tear, I'm like, oh God, that sounds awful. Like,
right,
absolutely terrible.
So, the weight of the ammunition got me thinking because my mind goes into weird places. With all of the fires in California, do people have bug out plans for all of their stuff?
Not all my stuff.
Well, because like you always hear about these boomers that are like, I've got 100,000 rounds of 22 in my basement waiting for the apocalypse. And you're like, how much blood pressure medication do you have?
Yeah.
But like,
and he also has no Hoppy's gun medic to keep his 22 running.
Nope.
After he shoots all that dirty ass 22.
Right. And he's got a 22 revolver and that's totally not going to gum up in any way, shape, or form. But it just got me thinking about like what is a reasonable bug out plan for certain kinds of natural disasters? So like I know California, certain people are kind of shitting on them for this current issue and they have issues with fires, but like there's an entire section of our country that just gets hit with hurricanes every year. And they're like, yeah, this is just what we do. We live in God's, wind vacuum. So, I mean, part of my city was torn out by a tornado.
Yeah.
And in that case, I mean, you don't really have an opportunity to bug out.
Not really. No, it's you. There's a reason why. I mean, we have basements here because we can, and because of tornadoes.
Yep. Because before they literally used to just be storm shelters, storm cellars.
Yeah. Or it would be like the fruit cellar or whatever. Like my aunt and uncle lived on a farm. And they didn't have a basement in the first house, but like if you run just outside, there was like a cellar you could like store canned stuff in, so it was underground and cool, but it was also underground, avoid the shit flying around thrown by a tornado. Right.
Yeah. So it got me thinking, but we can each answer this and then kind of put the question out. I might make a thread on Reddit or someone else can talk about it, but in one carload, could you get everything gun related and family related into one vehicle? Or I guess because you're husband and wife, you got two vehicles with two people who can drive.
I want you to define gun related. What do you mean by that?
So like, can you take all the ammunition and firearms and accessories that you want to save in one trip?
Oh, because my house is going to burn down because of wildfires.
Yeah. So let's.
Okay, gotcha.
Magical land.
Okay.
Fires are coming for the house. You've got to load up, and this is people shit on California right now, but by my dad's place, this is a situation that happened. Like the fires in the prairies get bad, and so fire's about to hit is an hour away from hitting your house. You got an hour to load up your car. Do you think you get all of the things in your house that you value into your car?
I could pretty easily get my gun collection isn't that big, and I already have a bunch of big bags because like when I do an intro class, I will haul basically 8 to 10 guns with me. Like most of my guns are handguns, so it's a lot easier to move them all.
Right.
They're smaller. They fit in little tiny cases, and I can just jam them all in my, my 2 big bags, duffel bags that I have. I have a couple of those Zombie Hunter LA Police gear bags that are awesome. Those will take several as well. And then I just have, a handful of long guns. Actually, I have more than a handful, I guess, but no, I could definitely get like my Stoker M3000 semi-auto shotgun. Like, if I need to leave one behind, that's the one I'm leaving. You
Right.
know,
Right.
Like,
you have
my
the
goofy
list.
ass 3-gun shotgun, I don't give a shit.
Yep.
I bought it for $400 used, and yeah, I did some work on it, but the 1100 or the 870 I got as a kid, that means way more to me. I'll grab that. Otherwise the rest of the long guns I'll probably grab. But if I had to leave a long gun behind, because that shotgun is so fucking long,
Right. The logistics of it can get super complicated.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine has a 50 cal, and he's like, yeah, everyone thinks it's going to be super cool to shoot, but it's such a pain in the ass to like get out that
yeah,
I
everything
only
about it
bring.
is a pain in the ass.
Yep. Is like, it takes up the entire back seat. Can't even put it in a case because there isn't a case big enough. We get it. You lay it on the ground. You put one round in it, and people are like, "Oh, put like 10 in there." He's like, "Shoot one, and then see if you want to keep shooting it." And they tend to shoot between 1 to 3 rounds and go,
Yeah.
"I have shot enough 50 caliber for the rest of my life." And he goes,
Yeah.
"Yep." He doesn't even shoot it. Puts it back in the truck, takes it home. And so yeah, figuring out these logistics. I mean, I guess it's kind of a PSA, and we're not the best examples because we transport our firearms on such a regular basis that we are prepared. Like, I have 3 long guns. I can easily get those. And then I have like 10 pistols. I'm good.
Yeah.
The ammunition is going to be way more annoying to get from my apartment down to my truck. And especially if it's in like a, oh shit situation, I might be like carrying my rifle to be like, no one fuck with my shit. But,
you know what the absolute worst is? When you go to a 3-gun match and you're on an upper level of a hotel.
yes.
It's awful because, and it never fails. Every time the 2 times I shot zombies in the Heartland in Grand Island, I was on the upper floor of the hotel every time. That means I'm hauling up I actually had 3 long guns. I had 2 ARs, a backup, and my shotgun, and then all the rest of my stuff. And it's all like the ammo I left in the truck. I was not gonna haul that up. That can stay in the cab. If it gets stolen, there's places to buy ammo in Grand Island. I'll just go buy it. But my buddy Nick that tore his bicep, last time we went to that match, he and the other guy that were there, they were on the first floor, and we were staying at the Roadway Inn in Grand Island, which is actually, it's kind of a shitty hotel, but it's like the best shitty hotel you'll ever stay in. It really is. There's like a lake in the backyard of this hotel and a great place to hang out and drink beer and eat pizza and whatever. It's a fantastic hang. It's a shithole, but it's like the best shithole you'll ever stay in. And these 2 assholes were on the bottom floor and figured out, oh, we can just remove the window. And so they just parked right in front of their hotel room window and like loaded their guns into the window. Like, you bastards.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, because like even when I go deer hunting, like when I got done deer hunting in the Black Hills and I'm in Deadwood, I literally picked my hotel because it had a parking garage attached.
Yep.
Because otherwise in Deadwood, you're not always able to park real close as easily, depending on where you stay. And I wanted a place that would have a parking garage, and I would be able to haul my 2 rifles in and all my shit that I didn't, want to risk leaving in the truck. And yeah,
it's always awkward. Like when I came up and shot the 2021, I think it was 2020 when I shot Great Plains.
21 was the first Great Plains up here.
21. I was in a hotel. Because I stayed in the wrong city.
Oh yeah, you were in Sioux City, not Sioux Falls.
Right, because there was a kids baseball
softball tournament.
Softball tournament.
Yeah,
I was the only non-softball person there. The front desk person told me that, and so there I am, with my cart full of fucking pistols and ammo boxes, and it's like, okay, hello, small children, don't worry about what's in my cart.
Yeah. Jeff stayed an hour away from the match, about an hour from his house.
Yep.
It was just Yeah, it's just how it went. That was so funny.
But yeah, to close it out, it's like come up with an emergency plan, understand like where you're going to go if you have somewhere to go, and like what you're actually going to bring. And because like what makes me always think about this is like the Reddit posts. They're like, here's my collection of 74 rifles, and it's like it's like 60 ARs that look exactly the same.
Oh yeah.
And then or like, oh, here's my M1 Garand collection. You're like, cool. How would you move that? And
you don't.
Or, right. And so it's like as safe as you're like, that'll never happen. It's like no one ever thought that, Mel Gibson's house would burn down or Jamie Lee Curtis's house would burn down, but here we are.
Well,
so,
I kind of thought they would. I mean, if you never thin forests or whatever, like honestly, and I'm not even talking shit about California. Like even the Black Hills is a tinderbox. I mean, and there's active logging going on there. I mean, they are taking down trees, but all the under, the deadfall and the needles, like there's a reason why when you see photos of the Black Hills in the 1800s, there's a lot less trees. It's because lightning would strike and burn down a bunch of the forest.
Right. Because that's the unfortunate part of the conversation is like, we aren't supposed to manage it. It's just supposed to happen. And you're just,
right.
That's like,
but we're managing it. And that's the problem.
Right. And there's also, I don't know if it's a true fact or not, but it was is it like some dude brought like eucalyptus trees or some type of like oil-based tree.
Oh,
and that's what's actually like making the fires burn more often and being like bigger is because of like the oil in the anyways. But yeah, so
like birch trees have like the bark of birch has an oil in it that is a fantastic fire starter.
Yep.
Like
and
great fire starter.
Pine trees are both, the needles are fire, and then also the inside of them when they get hot they explode. So that was some of the Pine Ridge.
Yeah, pine. Like have you ever burned like 2x4s?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They pop like crazy.
Yeah. And so when they're actually in tree form, they just explode if they get hot enough. During the fires by my dad's place in western Nebraska, they literally are on the Pine Ridge, and they said that helped the fire keep burning, and it put a lot of them at risk because the trees would basically turn into small like incendiary bombs that would blow up and then start the fire 100 feet away. So yeah, long story short, make a bug out plan. Figure out like, oh, is my shit transportable, or am I just stockpiling bullshit that's getting left behind?
I can tell you, as someone who's currently cleaning out their gun room for it to become their son's bedroom, I'm collecting a lot of bullshit.
Yep.
A lot of bullshit. I have a dresser that will be my son's dresser. It's currently, I have one drawer full of AR-15 magazines. There are 12 that are still new in package.
Beautiful.
Yes.
And that again, it's always, I always love having the conversation with people who are like, yeah, I've got this for the apocalypse. I'm like, how are you carrying that? Like, what's your plan to carry? Because was it PSA or Palmetto State or someone used to sell? You could buy like an AR and 100 magazines for like $600.
Oh yeah,
during the Trump slump.
It was Palmetto.
Yeah, and you're like, the fuck are you going to do with 100 PMags?
Like, well, sometimes they would come with ammo. You'd get. I think they would also have to deal with if you bought like 1,000 rounds, it came with 10 PMags or something like that.
Yep. Yeah, because they I remember the jokes were that they were the packing peanuts. That people just called them the pack. Oh, if you buy 1,000 rounds, you get 10 packing peanuts with it.
Who was it that did the? Was it Winchester that did the barrel of ammo of 223 ammo? Or no, Brownells would sell.
Yep.
They would like, it was like a raffle, I believe. A raffle it was I think it was a contest of some kind. I believe it was a raffle for a barrel, like a keg of 223.
I'm sure they did those, especially when ammo was super cheap, but you can buy them. Like
I know, but they would do it as a promotion to like give it away.
Yeah. Because at the time they were overstocked. For Midway USA has a 14,000 rounds in a, I don't think it's a 55-gallon drum. It doesn't look like a 55-gallon drum in the picture, but for $4,000.
Whoa.
I mean, it's 30 cents a round, so that's not terrible, but it's Frontier cartridge. So I don't
Yeah, that's
know.
Hornady's
Oh,
brand.
oh, well, yeah, you can buy 13,889 rounds and get a 5-gallon drum, or I don't know if it's a 55-gallon drum. Anyways,
That'd be more round. How many rounds?
it was in whatever size thing this is. It's 13,889 rounds.
Oh, that's whatever, like a keg of ammo. That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to buy Black Hills 223 FMJ, Black Hills ammunition, guess how much that is? Only 99 cents a round because it's Black Hills ammunition, and they sell it to Navy SEALs. For a box of 50 is $50.
Oof.
Yeah, they're proud of their ammo. But hey, you get those Navy SEAL contracts, and
nerds will buy it.
dude, here's the weird thing about Black Hills ammunition. I live in the same state as Black Hills ammunition, and I never see it on the shelf anywhere.
Right.
I mean, it's probably on some shelves at some stores, but I never see it. Like, I never see it at Shields. I used to see it at Shields. I never do anymore. I can't remember the last time I saw it anywhere in Sioux Falls, and we're in the same damn state. But anyway, interesting. Okay, what's next? Oh, as far as like the bug out thing goes, like in our part of the country, literally the only thing, like natural disaster, I mean, it would have to be some sort of catastrophic tornado, really, for us to have to leave where we live.
Yeah.
That's really the only disaster that could happen.
Then it moved your shit for you.
And then, yeah, but I mean, it would be after the shit got moved,
Right.
We survive it. And then now what do we do? You know? So like in this part of the country, if you live in Tornado Alley or in, Jesus, there's more. My niece lives in Alabama. There's more snow there than there is in South Dakota right now, or at least where I live in South Dakota.
It is so, like, Omaha has had less than an inch of snow, or like less than 2 inches of snow total this entire season. And the South is like, oh, here's my 6 inches of snow. I've never seen this before.
Yeah. Kansas City got a bunch of ice and snow, and semi trucks are like crashing everywhere. It was crazy. But as far as like, being able to actually bug out, for us, it would be mostly some sort of civil unrest thing.
Yep.
2021
over
where
again.
we live, like
2020.
Yeah, more of a 2020 style thing. Like, I remember reading stuff people were writing, people that lived in the Twin Cities during the summer of 2020, how crazy it got. And, it's just all of a sudden there's a bunch of people in the street and they're like, are they going to start burning everything down? Like, they're just like, I don't know what to do. And so all of a sudden it made people get very, very aware of, oh, I need a plan.
Yep.
If something goes sideways. And, anyway. Okay. Reloading Shadow 2s is hard. Jeff, I talked a lot of shit about you and your shitty reloads.
You've talked a lot of shit about my shitty reloads, and they're pretty shitty.
They are pretty shit. I mean, they're way worse than mine, and I just started trying to reload a Shadow 2. But I get it now, though. Like, after another week of dry fire with the Shadow 2, after I got that dumb spring thing figured out, it's just a harder gun to reload than most.
Yep.
For whatever reason. I couldn't tell you why. I don't know if it's something visual that's like it's telling my brain one thing and making my hands do another. This week I did finally get some more, like, I had several like just super clean reloads, but I had some Jeff King reloads too. Like, I had some gun pointed one way and I thought the mag was right, and it's just not. I don't know what it is about that gun. It's harder to reload than any gun I've ever tried to reload at speed. I can reload my Shield Plus faster than a Shadow 2. I'm not shitting you. It is easier. Like, and I gotta let go with my pinky or I'll pinch it.
Oh yeah, gun. It fucking
hurts when you do that.
Yeah, that's one of the hand injuries I deal with most of the season is blood
Oh, I bet
blister
you
on the
do.
bottom
Yeah.
of my pinky. Yeah.
With my PO7, the mags it came with were like had the +2 base pads, and those will pinch me.
Yep.
When I've reloaded that gun before, and that also hurts. But I can reload that gun real easy. I don't know what it is about the Shadow 2. It's just harder to reload. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I feel a little. Okay, I don't really feel bad about talking shit about your reloads, but
Correct.
I have more sympathy for your reloads than I
Yep.
did before. I just thought you were lazy and weren't practicing reloads. Turns out it's just harder.
Both can be true if we're completely honest here.
And even with like my tac sport, I've had that gun a long time, and I dry fired the shit out of it the year I shot it in limited. So my magwell is completely silver. It is like the black finish of the magwell, the extended magwell, is just gone from the inside. But even after shooting Glocks, when I went back to that thing, like I don't miss the frame magwell very often with that gun.
Right.
I'm not using the magwell itself all that often as an aid. They just go in. The mag is looser in there. I don't know what it is, but man, reloading a Shadow 2 is just it's harder. I don't know why. It just is. Anyway, so there was a thing that popped up on the internet about vetting instructors again, and I saw it I think it was today I saw it. Did you see it today? I don't know when it was posted.
Yeah, I think it got posted today. I think there may have been a general question a couple days ago, and then they made it a post later.
Yeah. It was about how to vet an instructor again. And Caleb Patterson used to work for CZA. I think he's working for
Masterpiece Arms.
Masterpiece Arms now. He had posted a thing. I don't have it in front of me. Do you remember what he said in it?
Yeah.
It was kind of talking about the
So he said, I've seen a lot of discussion lately about how to vet instructors. Oops. I have a question. How is your instructor supposed to teach you the path to success if they've never been there themselves? And I have feelings on this one.
Okay. Give me your feelings.
I'm torn over it because I half agree, half don't agree. Is if you're trying to find top level success, you probably need to be dealing with someone who's been in the top level to truly understand what they're going through. But I think the majority of people don't need top level talent to teach them to begin with. And
No.
I think that part of the discussion gets a little warped. Because I am an instructor for kickboxing. I have 3 fights, and I've been doing the sport for 14 years. I am not a high level competitor. I'm not.
No, but didn't you used to be?
No.
Oh.
Nope.
No, I thought you won like a national championship or something.
I won a national belt. I won Muay Thai nationals in Class C, 215 pounds in 2014. And so I won.
What would that be like in USPSA?
So, that would be like saying I went to my area match and I won my category.
Not even your class?
I won my class and my category, or my category within my class. So
like C class, B class?
I mean, I'm probably like B to A class in kickboxing.
Okay.
Would probably be, I'm somewhere on that line.
When you won the title?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And so now I'm probably solidly in B class, but
like I also think like as a coach, think of it as a coach, not an instructor. As a coach, because for the most part, most of the people you're teaching are people who are way below you.
Right. The vast majority of my students are a year or less of training. And so that's where this discussion, I think it's kind of, they overgeneralize and make it too vague.
Yeah.
Is it, if you are an M class shooter or an A class shooter, yeah, you need to go seek out GMs to make you better.
Yeah.
You're not going to take a class from a C class shooter or from a tactical instructor and get a lot of information out of it. You might pick up one thing here, one thing there, but the $200, $300, $500, $1,000 you spent on that would have been better spent going to a Ben class, a JJ class, the entire list of names. It's diversifying what information is going to who that becomes the important part of the question. And like vetting instructors, like where does the vet begin and stop becomes the problem. So like Tim Herron, he's where I saw this. Grandmaster, multiple time, I believe, national champion in single stack.
I don't know if he's ever won a title or not.
Oh,
I'm not trying to talk shit. I don't know if he ever won nationals, but
but
he's a super squad single stack guy.
He's a super squad single stack guy. Does that translate to open? Does that translate to PCC? Does that translate to carry optics? I mean, he has shot carry optics, so he can translate that information. But it's just one of those like, or do I go to Max Leograndis?
I think if you're a GM in single stack, yes, 100% it translates, because it's a lot fucking harder to shoot single stack than it is to shoot all of those. Like reloading those guns is so hard. They gave him a magwell,
right? But he has, again, if he's only been a single stack shooter, does he know the problems with dots? It becomes part of the conversation. So
I'm guessing he's probably learned them over the last few years.
Yes, I agree. Like Tim, I believe, shot for Team Sig and shot at P320 with a dot for a couple of years. But so I think vetting instructors, there's again, it goes back to having two different conversations. For a newbie, you need someone competent in firearms who is a good teacher, and who can be a good, understanding, empathetic teacher. It cannot be your spouse.
No.
It cannot be a family member.
No, it cannot be a spouse.
It's unlikely it's going to be a family member. You want to find a third party that will teach you the information, but you also don't need the highest level. Like I see this a lot, like in the martial arts world, where people are like, I need to train under the best black belt that I can. And you're like, why? You don't know anything. You could be taught by one of their students.
Yeah,
and you're
just
still
save
going to
money.
learn.
Go to a cheaper instructor who still knows way more than you.
Right. Within the jiu-jitsu world, they have blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, black belt. A blue belt can teach a white belt a bunch of things. The only difference that a black belt will give a white belt is that they've probably been teaching longer. So they tend to have that empathy and that understanding, and they'd be like, oh, I've seen 100 people do it this way. You want to change this. So like someone like you as a firearms instructor, as a teacher, you're a fantastic person for them to learn from, because you're able to bring it down to newbie level and not overwhelm them with like, all right, guys, so like we're going to establish your index. Once you establish your index, when we enter this position, you're going to have the gun up and you're going to be engaging target 1, 2, and 3, and make sure that we get that steel as we're exiting position.
Yeah, no, I don't use. I have an intro class coming up in a couple of weeks. I will not use the word index. That is not a word I will say in that class. Not at all.
Yep. So, but once you're at an M or GM level, then yeah, you need to start specializing what you are trying to pick up and what information you are looking for. Because when you're C, even B class, you're still in gun fundamental realm. Like just getting better at shooting the gun will get you to the next level. When you're getting into high A class, M class, GM, now you're starting to talk about very sport specific skills that you need to start worrying about.
Yeah.
So finding what suits you best and whose style works best for you. Like Ben is very abrasive, but if you can tolerate it, I found a lot of success. I don't know that I need to take his class again, but I know that because I've taken it 2 or 3 times already, but like it worked for me because I could tolerate his abrasiveness. If you can't, that's not a shot against you. Like he can be an unpleasant person to be around. Maybe someone like a Tim Herron or Mason Lane or someone could be a good person to check out.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you. I when you're talking about abrasive personality, if you ever played football and you ever had a coach who was a total cunt, I had one of those in college, and he basically was so unpleasant to play for, I quit playing football in college.
Yep.
I would in in a scrimmage, I sacked the quarterback and I got my ass chewed because the move I used to sack the quarterback was not a different move. I relied on a swim move a lot. I was a D tackle.
Yep.
Look, there's not a lot to do as a D tackle. I mean, I'm not rushing the edge. Speed's not my game. Like a little finesse and get them out of my way quick.
Yep.
So, like as soon as they tried to get their hands on me, I fucking smacked their hands out of the way, get the other arm over the top. All of a sudden, they're trying to block air, and I'm past them. Like, it was a really efficient move for me, and I just went to that well a lot.
Right.
And I got my ass chewed for it, and I'm like, are you really? Like, I literally just achieved the goal we're after on defense, and you're mad at me. You need to go fuck yourself.
Yep.
Like that, this is what needs to happen here. And if that, but like, and like that wouldn't, like last time I took a Ben class, he wasn't abrasive really at all. Honestly, Joel was more abrasive than Ben was in that class.
Yep.
But I hear that's different now. Whatever. I wouldn't do well with that. Like I'll just get pissed off. Like shooting's not a sport where I will do better pissed off. Right. I will do way worse. Football was a sport I could be better pissed off. Baseball, golf, anything that's far more mental and less physical is not going to go well pissed off. So that would not be my thing. I don't need to be coddled. I don't need to be, have my, as Ben likes to say, which is a saying I love, I don't need someone to brush my hair. But I don't need that. But I don't want someone making me angry either.
Yeah. Right. And so finding whose personality is going to work out for you. And like part of this conversation kind of comes back to some of the drama we talked about before around the prank Joel Ben realm.
Did we was Pranka back last week?
Yes.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
I didn't remember if we said that or not.
Yes, we're serendipitous. We talk about something that just happens. And because part of the conversation was they have advocated for seeking instruction from people who are actively competing, which is I like that. But they are also, the three of them are not competing anymore. So it kind of like warps the conversation. Like, hey, you should look for this. We aren't that. But at the same time, that's not saying they can't give you that good information.
No, it's not.
Like Joel's not going to fight his way onto the super squad anytime soon, but that doesn't mean that he can't teach you how to shoot very, very well, especially if you're a C class, B class, A class shooter. Joel will have mountains of information for you. As an M class pretending to be attempt to be a GM, like I butt heads with Joel because I have ways I do things, and he's like, oh, you need to, kind of like what Andy's talking about. Joel kind of has you need to do it this way because this is the way it must be done. Whereas I'm accomplishing the goal. I don't give a shit that my shoulders are slightly too elevated for whatever reason. I'm splitting harder and hitting targets faster than you. So fuck off. So at the MGM, maybe Joel starts to fall off. Just like when you're playing at those highest levels, sometimes you need the highest level guys, but sometimes you just need to find the best coach. I always use the example. Wayne Gretzky is a terrible coach. Yeah. Greatest sports player in the history of man. Yeah. One of the worst coaches ever.
We had this argument before. I
Yes.
won't go down that road again.
Right. But he's the best example of someone who, as a player, cannot be beat. As a coach, could not win. So some people are meant to be players, and some people are meant to be coaches. That's why none of the coaches in the NHL or MLB or whatever, like none of them are actively playing. Or
Right.
like,
Well, a lot of them did. A lot of coaches never played.
Yeah.
Literally. Let me look up this name quick. I want to vet what I'm about to say. Whoops. Okay. Where is she working now? I don't know where she is now. So there was a former stud women's college basketball player.
Okay.
By the name of Becky Hammond. I know of her because she's from South Dakota originally. She was from Rapid City. She was hired by the Spurs to be an assistant coach in 2014, and she worked with them until, she's a head coach now in the WNBA, but she worked as a coach in the men's NBA for a lot of years. She never played in the NBA.
Right.
She was never a better player than NBA players, but she knows basketball. And as someone who knows basketball, there are things she knows that she can teach to world-class basketball players. And I honestly, at some point, like, I don't think I'm there yet, but I'm a way better coach than I am a shooter. I know this in my heart. Like, I can look at somebody, like, if I was just with Jeff, if Jeff and I are I'm not even shooting. Jeff and I are training together, and I'm just watching him and looking for stuff like that can be better. Like, I think I could help Jeff get. I'm not saying I'm a GM, grandmaster, Ben instructor guy. I'm just saying I'm a pretty good coach. I'm observant. I'm good at finding things that are not being done right. And a lot of times that's all it is. Like, and knowing Jeff as well as I do, the things he's usually not doing right is like aiming.
But are the little nubby things on top of the gun important?
Yeah. Or even that bright shiny orb. Like, it's good to use that too.
I like to put it as like a halo on top of the target.
Right. Because I know. I mean, part of it is because I know him, but also like I've watched Jeff shoot a stage and go, man, if those hits are there, that's going to be amazing.
Right.
And then we go score it, and the hits are not there. They're fucking all over the place because he was using the force instead of his dot, And
the force wants to be strong with this.
Right. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back or anything. All I'm saying is, like, some people are really good at coaching and some people are really good at shooting or doing the thing.
Right.
And they're not all, like, the people who are the best at the coaching aren't necessarily the best at the doing.
Yeah. So don't
read too much into this discussion on the internet is what I would say.
Right. And that's where it's a pissy match between.
Yeah. It's a fucking ego fight is what it is. That's what it is.
Because Ben's point, his general point was, hey, tactical industry, fucking Navy SEAL boys, cops, tactical world, why don't you look at like high level shooting as your starting point? And the best high level shooting is competition. And so that kind of got warped into this conversation around like, oh, well, does the instructor have a USPSA number and have they shot a match? And then it's kind of warped into this like, are they a GM that is actively competing with no blah 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 blah? And so it's kind of shifting too far the other way, and needs to kind of go back to the hey, if you want to understand high level shooting, go to where the people are doing high level shooting, which is competition.
Yeah.
It again, a police force that finds a B class dude that knows how to teach is going to get so much better so quickly than finding a dude who spent 20 years in the deserts of Iraq, carrying a rifle for the whole time. And it's like, that's what they're saying. Not, oh, do I want an A class instructor, or do I want a GM instructor who was competing but isn't anymore, or one that is competing? It's like, now we're just splitting hairs.
Yeah. Speaking of police and rifles, it reminded me of something I didn't have in the rundown, but I had a conversation with a guy at church on Wednesday. We were my daughter's youth group. We were serving the meal on Wednesday, and a guy who is a deacon at our church, and he's involved with youth group. He's also an SRO at my daughter's high school. He's a police officer here in town. And I ran into him at the mall during Christmas because he's an SRO, so he didn't have anything to do. So he got told to go to the mall and hang out one day. And then I said, "So how was the mall for you?" The rest of the day, he's like, "Oh, it was pretty uneventful. It was pretty boring." Granted, we did have a shooting at our mall like a few weeks before this, but I was like, "Well, what'd you do the rest of the time during the Christmas break from school?" He's like, "I was deer hunting." "Oh, really? Where'd you go?" And he said, Spencer Park, which is a park in Sioux Falls. We have a urban deer problem in town. Lots of deer. So he was literally shooting the excess deer in town. And the reason I bring this up is a question you asked me about why wouldn't you shoot it in the head? You know,
Yeah.
Given all this stuff. And he was telling me they are under orders to shoot them in the head. And he shot one. They're actually using 300 blackout, bolt action 300 blackout subsonic. And with a suppressor because they're trying, they're in town.
Yeah, keep the noise low.
Yeah, they're literally in town. And they're in areas where, I mean, there's not people in the parks this time of year either. So, it's not as big a deal, but they have he said they have very specific shooting lanes. They do not deviate from that shooting lane because okay, here's the safe lane. But he, shot one, got it in the head, and down it goes, done. And the next one, and this is only at 25 yards, shot it through the snout. Not a lethal shot. Took off running. And when you asked me that, that's exactly why headshots, like the brain on a deer is tiny.
Okay.
We're talking not even a baseball.
Right.
For the head. Unless you catch spinal cord under the head, by hitting it center of head. But he was just off a little bit and he was like, yeah, I missed. And, and I was like, what are the rifles zeroed for? He said, they're zeroed for 25 yards. That's what the shot is almost every time. And I was like, dude, shoot him in the neck. You got to shoot him in the neck. He's like, we're under orders to shoot him in the head. I'm like, so lie. You just shot one in the snout. Just lie and say, I missed and shot it in the neck. The result's going to be the same. It's going to drop and it's going to bleed out.
Right. It jumped at the last moment.
Yep.
I
flinched and I pulled the bullet. I pulled the shot way low and it went into the neck and it dropped dead. But I mean, it doesn't drop dead, but it drops.
I'm kind of shocked they don't use bows or crossbows.
There is an urban hunting tag, an access permit that the bow hunters can't apply for in town. It's not in the park I was just talking about. There's a part in northern Sioux Falls where they're allowed to do this because there's a lot more trees and not as many houses and stuff around. It's not really near parks. Kind of like Omaha along the river, along 680, kind of like that. So there are hunters that can bow hunt, but only police officers are allowed to use firearms. And which is a bummer because I don't want to shit on my friend from church, but I wouldn't
police marksman.
First off, I wouldn't have taken that shot. To me, there are deer hunters who will take headshots on does that I get it. They have the confidence to do that. I'm not going to do it. The neck is a much safer target. The likelihood of missing the neck is way lower than the head,
Right.
So I was like, dude, I'm telling you, just shoot him in the neck. You get a shockwave on the spinal cord. I did ask, you're shooting expanding bullets. You're not just shooting match hollow points, are you? He's like, no, they're hunting bullets. I'm like, okay, so shoot him in the neck. Bullet expands, big shockwave, shuts off the spinal cord. They drop. Meanwhile, they bleed out, dead. Like, goal achieved. Deer doesn't run away and run through a neighborhood with a giant hole in its snout. And
some kid just absolutely traumatized.
Yeah, like Rudolph is bleeding out of his sinuses. Mom,
why is Bambi's nose gone?
Rudolph doesn't have a nose.
It's red, but the wrong
Rudolph
kind.
the red-nosed reindeer's all blood. So anyway, that was a conversation I had this past week that, anyway. Speaking of cops and rifles, cop rifles. Was that what I was talking about, or?
Oh, it was kind of what you were talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wasn't a new thing.
No, I'm just keeping notes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I'm also writing down like where I can get clips that are funny. Because when I remember, here's the deal, folks. When I remember to write down where like one of us says something kind of funny, I'll write down the time and what we said, and then you get an intro to the show. If I don't do that, you're not getting an intro to the show. So I've been writing down clips this week, so there was probably an intro on the show. Or maybe there wasn't, because I ran out of time. Anyway, let's see. Class jumpers, all class, no practice. What are you talking about here?
Yeah, so I was having this conversation again, more for my kickboxing world than shooting world, but it made me think of my shooting world. So, do you ever run into someone who's like, I took an Eric Raffel class, I took a Ben class, I took a JJ class, and they almost like wear it like a badge of honor?
I actually have not.
Oh,
No.
interesting.
Because like the only time I can remember somebody saying that was they said it and then they were basically frustrated how they're still not getting better.
Well, and that's part of the key to this.
But it's a them problem,
right?
Though, it's a mental game problem.
Yeah, because I heard this term. I think I stole it from Parks and Rec, but it's like hobby tourists. Someone who's not there to be the best at what they do. They're just there to rub shoulders with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And because someone I'm acquainted with within the martial arts community, I kind of think they're one of those people, because they're always like, oh, I went to this seminar and then I trained at this gym with this person and I went to this seminar and da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, you don't seem to be getting better. You don't seem to be like applying the stuff. I don't see you working that I can visually see. And so it reminded me of the shooting world guys that are like, oh, I took Tim Herron's class, or I took this person's class. And you're like, okay, cool. Like, they taught you all these lessons. Have you practiced? And like, well, I can't afford the ammo, or I don't have a range, or da-da-da. And I'm like, you had $600 to pay these motherfuckers.
Yeah. Entertainment.
Yes. And I love that. Entertainment.
You haven't heard that before?
No.
I did not invent that term. No. That is a term that someone else invented, but I'm appropriating. But it's which is fine. If you like it, cool.
Right. Because I know we've talked about this before, but it's because like the tactical world is basically built on entertainment. I love that phrase. But like the tactical CQB vehicle bailout classes, like, you're never going to fucking ever do that. But I'm saying this as someone who's taken classes like that before back during my TACTAR days. They're fun. They're silly. And you're like, yeah, I'm prepared for this. And you're like, no, those are perishable skills. You learned the basics. Now to do them well, you have to spend a day bailing out of a car on a range for 8 hours. And you're like, oh, yeah. I don't really want to do that. But and again, there's entire business models built around this. The 88 Tactical in Omaha is their business model, or it was their business model, was like, oh, here's these awesome classes. You should take them, and you get to shoot with SWAT members and Delta Force guys and derp. And you're like, and the foundations of the class are shoot gun well. Okay. Stand on line. Shoot gun well. Okay. Kneel on ground. Shoot gun well. Okay. And once you start shooting USPSA, you're like, I can do all this for $15. Cool.
Yeah. When you were talking about like they went to a class with somebody and like they wore it like a badge of honor. It made me think of relating something that's gonna make me sound like a giant douchebag. Like really big douchebag, but I think it applies here. One thing my buddy Tyler said on a podcast one time, I don't know if it was our podcast or if it was my old podcast, but one thing he said, Tyler, the suppressor guy, he said, I've never seen you nervous. And he was correct. Like, it takes a lot to get me nervous.
Right.
I don't get nervous easily. And that's not because I have nerves of steel or whatever. It's because I got nervous a lot throughout my radio career. Because every time I did an interview with somebody really famous, I got really nervous. Like, oh my God, I'm talking to Gene Simmons from Kiss. I'm meeting Kelly Clarkson. I'm talking to Bob Saget. I interviewed Hillary Clinton once. Like, I talk to people who are as famous as they can be.
Right.
I met people backstage who are as famous as can be. Like, I got a hug from Kelly Clarkson backstage at the Sioux Falls Arena. Kind of
cool.
tough to top that.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I see Jerry Michalek at Area 3 or at Zombies in the Heartland, and my friends who are, shooting guys are like, oh my God, it's Jerry. Oh my God, it's Jerry. Like, and this is the part where it sounds douchey. I'm like, oh, cool, there's Jerry.
Yep.
Like, I respect the shit out of Jerry Michalek, obviously.
Right.
But I'm not starstruck the way other people get.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. Is that like, because my stress inoculation came from the fight world, so I know you're that stress is stress. But I mean, I've
whatever makes you nervous. If you've avoided getting nervous in your life, then shooting matches probably terrifies you.
Right. But if you're like, this isn't as scary as this, and there's no consequences, like let's go. And I run into the same thing going to matches is because like for a time, and I mean I've talked shit about Ben and Joel and whatever, but there was a time where me and Joel and Ben were friends. Like we played video games together like once a week. Like we were friends. That's the funniest part to this whole thing. But yeah, it's like going to a match and like seeing Nils. It's like, and you're like, oh man, you could be like, oh my God, that's a 7-time national champion, or the guy who won 3 national titles in 1 year. It's like,
there's JJ. He was on Top Shot. Oh my God.
Right. And you're like, hi Nils, good to see you. I don't know if you remember me from this one match. She's like, oh yeah, oh, good to see you. Okay, move on. Day's done.
The only thing I know he'll remember me from is like, hey Nils, I'm the guy whose popper you turned upside down.
Yes.
At Area 3. Then he might remember me. But like,
right. I'm the guy taller than him, so
actually you're probably more famous than you realize. Even before you started doing a podcast.
Yeah.
You were probably more famous in the sport than you realized you were, just because you're the only guy who's 6'9" and
right.
enormous. You're easily identifiable.
I definitely started picking that up. I remember a guy being like, I know you from somewhere, and I'm like, I'm the
tall guy at matches.
It was when Ben, because of it was the first time Ben recorded his class was at UNGC because Joel was recording it. And
I was in that one too.
Right. And the guy goes, no, I saw you in Ben's video. You're the giant dude. And I was like, yeah, that was me. Okay. Like, and I do agree with you. I've learned to kind of shut it off as like, yep, I'm the big guy, like whatever. But it was funny. Like, I'm so on the opposite side of starstruck to it anymore that I remember I was standing there with my buddy Jay, and Nils and like the super squad was shooting at Area 3, and they just happened to be in front of the bay, like where we were standing. So we were watching, and this guy walks up and goes, man, I hope someday I can shoot on their squads. And both me and Jay looked over and goes, no, you don't. And he goes, what? And we're like, we saw he had like a Fitbit. We're like, how many steps did you take today? He's like, 8,000. He goes, We were like, double that. They don't paste. He's like, what? And we're like, we're just so bitter to this idea of like, oh my God, they're so good and they're so famous. Like, no, I have to pace for them more. That's bullshit.
I understand how douchey that sounded when I said what I said a little while ago.
But it's true.
But it like I've been around more famous people than the people who are famous in our sport, I guess is what I'm talking about. So it's not like I don't get starstruck real easy.
And
I mean, I still think it's cool to meet those people. Like, I'm not saying it's not. Like, like when Nils and Jeremy Reed came to my squad or came to my stage when I was working at Area 3 a couple of years ago in Grand Island. Like, that was cool, and
you get a little
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's you get a little high from like, oh, interesting, but
Yeah.
you learn very quickly that they're just another dude.
Yeah.
I ran into Tim Herron. I was with the North Dakota boys at Production Nationals, and we were standing in the parking lot drinking beer because I don't think we were allowed to drink inside, but we were like, fuck it. We're in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And Tim Herron walked up and was like, hey, can I get one? And it's like, oh, here you go.
Yeah.
So I was just drinking a beer with Tim Herron, and like, I didn't talk to him, but it was like, okay, cool. Like,
No, if you want to know how not famous those people are, if you ran into them randomly in an airport, nobody knows who the fuck they are.
correct.
No one's like, you happen to, because you're part of this little niche sport, that we're all involved in and all super nerdy about. But no one's like chasing them through the airport for an autograph. But if Kevin Costner is walking through an airport, he's getting harassed. Like, that's why he flies private jets, because he can't walk through an airport anymore.
Right.
Right.
If they're not surrounded by 7 security guards,
Yeah.
Are they that famous?
Yeah. I mean, as if he wasn't famous enough. Kevin Costner's enough. I literally waited on him in his own restaurant. I worked in his restaurant in Deadwood when he used to own a restaurant in Deadwood, or actually
nice.
a casino and 2 restaurants. This is a story I haven't told on the podcast. I poured his iced tea for him at Mother's Day at Jake's in Deadwood, which is back open again. It's a fantastic restaurant in Deadwood. But he was in town with his then girlfriend, now ex-wife, which was wife number 2, by the way. And his parents actually lived in Spearfish, where I went to college. So we were open for Mother's Day brunch, which we were never open for brunch ever. We were a dinner place only. And so we were there, and Kevin Costner came in. I'm like, holy shit. Actually, the night before, I was coming down from the restaurant I worked, Jake's, and the sports bar in the middle level was called Diamond Lil's. And I come down, and I'm coming down the stairs, and I look down, and he looked up at me as I'm coming down. I'm like, holy fucking shit, that was Kevin Costner. Like, that's Field of Dreams Kevin Costner that just walked by right in front of me. Holy shit. Like,
I haven't watched Field of Dreams in forever.
Movie star of movie stars, you
Right.
know. And like I quote Bull Durham all the time. I love Bull Durham. It's like one of my favorite movies. And so then I get the story from my buddy that I lived with, my roommate. He was working at the bar at Diamond Lil's. And he says, Kevin comes up to him and goes, hey, yeah, we're going to get a couple of pitchers of margaritas, and we'll need some quarters for the pool table. This is back when, I don't know if pool tables still need quarters or not, but they did back in 2000. And he's like, oh, by the way, my name's Kevin. And my buddy Chad, and he holds out his hand to shake his hand. And there's posters of him all over in the sports bar. Like, his memorabilia from movies is everywhere.
Right.
And my buddy Chad looks around and he goes, no shit. I was like, that, and he laughed, and it was cool. I'm like, dude, that took big balls. He's like, I wasn't getting fired for that. But so then I waited on Kevin Costner on Mother's Day in, I think, the year 2000. And like, I was pretty nervous when I go over there with iced tea, and then I'm about to fill up his iced tea, and he puts his hand over the glass. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm fired. And he's like, just wait till it's totally gone and then refill it, because I've got the mix perfect. And I'm like, dude, I'm the same way with my coffee. I totally understand. And, you know, and it was like, I didn't become his new best friend or anything, but he was very nice and polite and treated us great. And he was very kind to the stalkers who were like hovering for autographs and that were there.
It's always nice when you meet your quote unquote heroes and they turn out to be like decent people that at least like tolerate. Like, I'm sure it gets annoying, but it's nice when they be like, hey, yeah, here, let me get these autographs signed. Like, okay, now I'm going to eat my food. Like, please leave me alone.
But like the best one ever, the best celebrity I ever met throughout my radio career, it's not even close. It was Bob Saget. Not even close. He was the coolest motherfucker I ever met.
Yeah.
And not only did I get to interview him over the phone, he was doing a show at a casino near here, and he was like, when we got done with the interview, he was just chit chatting afterwards. You know, we still had a show to do, and he's just chit chatting. He's like, "Hey, we'll get you set up with tickets, and meet us. We'll meet you backstage, and I'd love to meet you guys. It was so much fun talking to you." He was just the most kind, genuine dude I ever met, who was super famous. And then me and Tosh, my morning show partner, we met him after the show, and we just bullshitted. Yeah. And he's like, "What is this? You're going elk hunting?" I'm like, "Yeah, I was literally leaving to go elk hunting in 2 days." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm going elk hunting." Oh, he actually used a joke I made during our interview during his show. Like, nice. I made a crack about something about cornfields or bean fields or something. I made a crack about when we interviewed him on the phone, and he used that line in his show at the casino. I was just like, yes,
I made it.
Yeah, it was so cool. But like, he was just like of all the famous people who ever die, like the only one who ever that actually made me go like, oh, was Bob Saget. Like, he was just such a fucking awesome dude.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I used to rub elbows with famous people, and now I don't. But I'm okay with that because the radio business fucking sucks.
Now you're shooting world famous.
Now, which I never set out to be either. But you know, and we're getting to the end of the show, and we're man, your bottle sounds way cooler when you uncork it than mine. Listen to mine.
Mine's got like a hum to it.
Wait, is yours almost empty?
Yeah, it's like half empty.
Mine's a freshly cracked bottle of Buffalo Trace, so I'm only on my second pour, so I'm just like,
I'm such a drunk I don't even have a buzz.
Yeah, well, I can tell I do, and I need to save what's going for the next episode we record right after this one. Thank you so much for listening. Patreon.com/NotAnotherShootingShow, just $3.57 a month, and you get a second entire full episode every single week. He is Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show.